You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 15th, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety to order this 15th day of May 2023. Present our Mayor Dwayne Perry, Mr. Michael Vinson, myself, Virginia Keating. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular hybrid Zoom meeting of May 1st, 2023. Are there any corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vinson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a sponsor agreement. Terry Greetham, Special Event Director, is requesting approval of the 2023 Singing Sands Sponsorship Agreement between the City of Michigan City and the following sponsors. Michigan City Port Authority at the level of $5,000, Barker Mansion, level of $6,000, Comcast Greater Chicago Region, level of $6,000, and Sunset Grill, level of $2,000. Good morning.
Good morning. Terry Greetham, Michigan City Special Events. So of these sponsors, a few are returning. The Michigan City Port Authority was a sponsor last year. They've doubled their sponsorship amount for this year. The Barker Mansion is a returning sponsor. They have upped their sponsorship to also be a part of the Community Challenge. Comcast Greater Chicago Region is a new sponsor. They'll also participate in the Community Challenge. And then Sunset Grill was a partner last year. So with these amounts, this should bring our current total of sponsorship dollars for the special events up to $47,000.
That's wonderful. And we thank these individual businesses for their support. Is there any public comment? Is there any board comment?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Now call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vinson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a professional agreement request, a professional artistic service agreement between Neil Keenitz and the City of Michigan City for his services creating and designing a painting for the 2023 Singing Sands Festival to be completed by June 1st, 2023 in the amount of $8,000.
Yes, so Neil Keenitz, for those who don't know, is a very popular artist from here in Michigan City, and he creates the South Shoreline posters. So he will be creating a South Shoreline poster commemorating the Singing Sands Sand Sculpting Festival. The big advantage to us is this is a great promotional opportunity for the event, and the fact that we will receive, I believe it's 930 prints that we will then be able to turn around and sell as souvenirs from the Sand Festival throughout the year. We can also sell them at Oktoberfest. So without a doubt, I'm extremely confident in the popularity of these posters that these posters will actually pay for themselves.
Sounds good. I understand that we do have funding in place. Is that correct? Okay. Is there any public comment? Any board comment?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Now I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vinson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is the sponsorship agreement, an agreement between the Board of Public Works and Safety and Horizon Bank for sponsorship for the 2023 Oktoberfest being held on September 1st through 4th, 2023 at Washington Park, and the sponsorship level is $2,500.
Yes, so Horizon Bank is a new sponsor this year, and our goal obviously will be to make them happy so that they continue to sponsor throughout the next few years and hopefully increase their amount.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? Any board comment?
None here, Madam Chair.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vinson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a request for street closure. Kevin Dwan, Nickty, is requesting the closure of Pleasant Avenue. This is not part of the double track project. to replace railroad tracks and ties. Asphalt surface will also be replaced starting on Monday, June 5th, 2023 at 6:30 a.m. and through Friday, June 16th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Alex Christmas, Assistant Engineer Track and Structures with the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District. This road closure request, we asked for 2 weeks. We're going to hope to finish up as fast as we can and get the barricades torn down. The asphalt surface and timber crossing has released its end of its useful life, so just a regular rehab project for us. That's all we're requesting, is just a closure for that.
Okay. Corporal?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Brian Wright, Michigan City Police Department Traffic Division Commander. I don't see any issues with this, especially the only thing we'll have to do is reroute traffic, which they can just cut over towards Gray Street. I don't see that being an issue, or over to Carroll Ave. So this
Okay.
should be fine, especially for that amount of time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll call for public comment.
Good morning, Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. All this is fine and dandy. I wish that this board and the mayor will look into making sure South Shore cleans up the train line. They don't cut the grass. It looks terrible in Eastport. There's numerous residents complaining. They need to just do their part. Not just resurfacing, but also cutting the grass and maintaining all the trash that's on those tracks. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any board comment?
Just that I will contact Nikki today after I personally assess the situation. Thank you, Mr. McCormick.
I have a question for Mr. Christmas. You say you're.
Yes, last name is Christmas. Just like the
Very
holidays.
good. Nice. Just curious, I know you state this has nothing to do with double tracks, but double tracks are coming through. I remember we had some meetings talking about crossing gates to allow for no horn or no sounding through certain areas. And can you explain to me, in these smaller intersections like Pleasant, Grace, Woodland, those smaller intersections, why you can't use a longer single gate as opposed to double gates in those areas?
I can't really speak to that. I know that's the double track team, and they're sort of part of that part of the world. I know sometimes there's concern that if you have the double gates, that emergency services can't get around if absolutely necessary and some stuff like that. But I can't really speak much to that beyond that.
Okay.
And this resurfacing doesn't have anything directly pertaining to the quiet
But the
zone.
gates are going back up as they currently stand?
We don't touch the grade crossing warning devices at all. We're just working on the track and the asphalt
okay.
surface. So this has no bearing on the.
That's I thought you said that you were tearing down those crossing arms.
No, we don't touch the grade
Just the
crossing
crossing.
warning devices. We're just doing the asphalt and the track.
Okay, very good.
All right.
All right.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you for appearing.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is a second amendment approval, second amendment to the 2022-2024 contract between the City of Michigan City and the Fraternal Order of Police, Students Lodge number 75. Amber, did you want to address this?
Sure. So Madam President, the Common Council has already approved this. This and also the next contract, which would be the firefighters, just to give you a little synopsis of what was agreed upon. For purposes of 2023, and public safety lit money will be utilized for this. For purposes of 2023, the members of the FOP would be entitled to a one-time bonus of $7,000. Members of the fire department would be entitled to a one-time bonus of $6,500. Also, for purposes of 2023, the tiers beneath first class would also get a bump in pay to encourage recruitment for new hires. For purposes of 2024, then there would be a wage increase to all the base wages. For purposes of the FOP, it would be a 7,000 increase to all base wages. And also for fire, it's easier to do it like this. Fire would be 6,500 increase.
Okay, all right. Are there any comments from the public?
Good morning, Board. Paul Przybylski, 1716 Washington Street, Councilman, Second Ward, and member of the bargaining committee from the Common Council. I am here to say that as being a big proponent of everything that's in this agreement and a proponent of the last agreement of the longevity package for the police and the firemen, that I believe that this raises the standard. And there's also some other things that need to be done on the, which I've already talked to the corporate council about implementing on the employment agreements for new hirees. But we negotiated this in good faith and to bring the standard of pay up so it's comparable or above other communities. So now we have the tools and now we need the recruitment. But the employment agreement is very important. And I talked to our corporate council about getting this in front of the Common Council ASAP. And then I believe back to you, am I correct that then the board has to agree to it? We put in a lot of hours on negotiating this, but I will say that in our last session that I said at the forum that we're not leaving the room, we're not leaving the building till we have an agreement. And that is exactly what we did on our last session. I think, Amber, how long were we here till like 10 o'clock or 10:30 that evening? But we hammered out an agreement. I think it's very beneficial for recruitment, for employment of police officers in the city of Michigan City, and also for the residents and the security of our community. Because my whole aspect is that we're taking Michigan City back. We're not putting up anymore with BS troublemakers. We're taking this community back. And this is one of the ways that we're going to do it. So I hope the board goes forward and approves this and approves the contract for the fire department. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McCormick.
Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. I just want to thank the city council, Paul Przybylski. I thank Tracy Tillman. I think everyone was involved with this. This has been a long time coming. It's great news. Now we need to see the officers' boots on the ground. Hopefully we can get back to 90 police officers because we know God knows we need it. This is a big step forward. I don't think the flock system is, I think that's a joke, but if we get police on the feet on the ground, it'll change the way crime is going on in our city. And at least we have somebody in our neighborhoods consistently. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any board comments?
None here.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support?
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vincent?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The next item is the amendment to the 2022-2024 contract between the City of Michigan City, Indiana, and the Michigan City Firefighters Local 475. Amber, you've already addressed everything regarding this, so we can skip that. We've had public comment. I don't think there's any other. Is there any other comment on this issue? Is there any board comment?
None here, Madam President.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support?
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vincent?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a request to solicit quotes. Andrew Matanik, IT Director, is requesting permission to solicit quotes for replacement cameras at Central Services in the Maintenance Department.
Good morning. I was just here today to solicit quotes for the camera system. This has been a long time coming. The cameras that are over there right now are over 22 years old. We have went to get ARPA money last year. Due to supply chain issues, we were not able to even get quotes for these cameras until now. Now we have different varieties, different brands that are readily available. And so this is the first we're able to do that. So I'm just here today to request that I can go out to get quotes for replacing the 22-year-old cameras at Central Services and Central Maintenance.
Okay, thank you. About funding.
Funding's through ARPA. It was,
It is
yeah, it already went through the city council to get the.
It's all taken care of.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any public comment? Any board comment?
Yes, Madam President. Everything that Mr. Matanik says is correct. We have been struggling with the technology here in the council chamber as Alco Studio for too long. And the equipment was because of the material supply chain. If you could get a quote, it was so expensive, it was just out of the question. Thank you.
Any other?
I'll make a motion to approve to solicit bids for the cameras.
Support?
And then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Vincent?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the emergency repairs. Cranston Harris, Central Maintenance Superintendent, is requesting approval for emergency repairs to the fuel pumps located at Central Maintenance from Northern Indiana Mechanical in the sum of $18,951.
Good morning, Cranston Harris, Central Maintenance. These are emergency repairs that we need for our gas pumps. They are not in compliance with IDEM, haven't been for quite a while. And I've had Northern Indiana come in and give us an appraisal on them. And this will get us about 85 or 90% in compliance. If we don't do this, we'll get a $15,000 fine. And they've been neglected since far as back as I can see, because I didn't have any information on it since like 2000.
Okay.
So they could come in at any time. They had threatened to come in 90 days. I haven't heard from them yet. So I've been working, trying to get it all together for them. And Northern Indiana just waiting for this document so they can get started. But they're still 3 weeks out.
Okay, thank you. Amber, is this okay as far as the purchasing policy goes?
As long as Cranston's verifying that it's an emergency at this point in time.
Okay, are you doing that it is an emergency?
It is an emergency because if they come in today, we're going to fail. But if I have this work at least in the works of starting and can prove that to them, they'll give us time to get it done. There's probably going to be more once they get into it. I'm not sure yet what they got to do. I mean, I've got a list on what they say is out of compliance right now, but they're even talking about the gas island. The island itself was crumbling. They want that. They're going to want that fixed. But this is the main stuff right here. It needs to be done right away.
Madam President, this is the first I'm hearing about the nature and extent of the emergency. I mean, I have to ask the question, should they be shut down right now?
No, they're not. They're not dangerous. It's just IDEM is going around and they're inspecting and they have their guidelines and nobody knew about them. Because I could have worked on this a couple of years ago and been done with it, but nobody knew about it until a letter came in and told us that we could be inspected within 90 days. From what I understand, do a lot of municipalities around and they throw them in with gas stations. That's their biggest pick is gas stations right now. But they're also checking municipalities as well. And when I had Northern Indiana come in, they said, "You're way out, man." They said, "You need to get this together." So there was a lot of other stuff I had to have taken care of. I got most of that done, but this is the main thing that has to be done, and it have to be done right away. during the repairs, I don't have to shut the pumps down, but I do have to shut one side down because they got to do both sides up.
My question is, can't we bid this out? I mean, if they come in and they, are upset with this condition, we can say we're bidding the job out. Can we do that?
Well, it sounds like it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, there's only two people that does this. Northern Indiana is one of them. And the fortunate thing about Northern Indiana, we have an account with them so they can get started. And the money's going to be allocated from my budget. So while they're fixing it, they'll be taken care of. We won't have to go through all that because, like I said, they're 3 weeks out. If I send this today, I'm not going to hear from them for 3 weeks. That's just how much work they're doing.
What do you suggest?
Who are the two companies that do this work?
The one I went with was Northern Indiana. The other one, they wouldn't even answer my calls. I tried to call another one down there. There's only a couple of them that does it in this area that comes in and does things like this. And Northern's the biggest one. And they know us. They have repaired stuff out there on the pumps before as far as the pumps go.
So you're talking $18,000 in repairs.
Right now, yes, 18,000 right now. That'll get them started to fix the major problems. Now, if they find some smaller ones while they're in there, I'm not sure how much it's going to cost, but it's going to. For right now, this is what they have to do. They have to start doing this. And
Can they give us a written detailed estimate of what they're going to do? What costs are going to be if they exceed this amount?
They don't know. I have a copy of it. I can give you a copy of it. It was with all the packages, for instance, the material is going to be $11,500. And I've got a list of they've got the saw and cut 5x4 areas, concrete around the containers. There's 2 manholes that are sunk. Disposal of the clean concrete, evacuate the soil around the diesel tanks and the unleaded tanks, remove and dispose of spilled containers and drop tubes, provide and install 3 OPW 5-gallon spill containers, provide and install 3 OPW fill swivel adapters and 3 OPW fill caps, provide and install OPW EVR overfill drop tubes. They want to backfill and dowel pin the concrete because they're all sunk. Provide and install 1 18-inch OPW manhole. Provide 1 20-gallon spill kit with 2 replacement pads, pillows, and kit. Perform hydrostatic tests and file and require reporting related to the above scope of work. Return to pick up barricades. I'll provide the barricades for them. But this is what we need right away. We need to have this started right away. The concrete underneath the pumps are starting to crumble, but they said they can, as long as they get this started, as long as IDEM sees work being started down there, they won't give us a fine.
I haven't seen the letter from IDEM. I don't know if anybody else does either.
I can make you guys copies of this if you'd like to see it.
I saw that letter. I had a copy of that letter. I thought I passed it on. Sorry if you didn't see it.
I think this board needs it as well. Is there any way this board could table this? And I don't know, it calls special meeting. I mean, I think it's critical that we.
I think we do. I think
it's critical that we see that IDEM letter as well.
Right. I agree. Do I have a motion to table?
I will begrudgingly make a motion to table. This is a situation that's been hanging around as we've encountered others in central services and central maintenance. We've had repair issues over there for some time, and this finally getting this letter of an upcoming inspection and fine is making us address this item specifically. So we need to have a lot of discussion offline right after this meeting. And I have the same letter that Mr. Harris has, and then we can call a special meeting to push this forward, because if we had to shut down the fuel pumps because we buy our fuel at such a discount by buying bulk, in no time at all, we would probably spend $15,000 more on fuel for the city. And then in addition to that, incur the $15,000 fine from IDEM. So I will make a motion to table this, but we will address it as soon as we can, hopefully with an emergency meeting.
All right.
Second.
And then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. Thank you. And we'll see you soon. Next item on the agenda is a request for road closure. Jasmine Kelly, Stepping Stone Shelter, is requesting a street closure starting on Lakeshore Drive at Washington Park in front of the zoo to stop 9 to Nevada Street to Lake Avenue to Fogarty Street to Krieger Avenue to Marine Drive to Fetters Drive, ending in front of the splash pad on Sunday, September 2nd, 2023, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a 5K walk run to raise funds for the Stepping Stone Shelter for Women. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm actually Deb Barnick. I'm the interim director at Stepping Stone. Jasmine was planning to be here, but I didn't think she was able to make it. So this is going to be a fundraiser. It's going to be the first fundraiser we've had in a few years. And we've done walks, but never a fundraising walk. So we're trying to change it up a little bit for both exposure for the organization and to raise some very, very necessary funds.
Thank you.
Good morning again. I'll see to it that I'll work with the street department and get barricades and have our emergency management volunteer for this event so that they can hold it, and I don't see any issues with it.
Okay.
All right.
Madam President, we will need an updated certificate of insurance that will be expired.
That's what I wondered about that. Yeah.
Yep, our renewal is happening this month and we'll be happy to provide that.
Any public comment? Board comment?
As long as there's an option for a walk that works, you can put me down.
We'll be walking with you. No running here.
Wasteland could handle it. Thank you.
Just
Oh, they haven't approved it yet?
I know that we've been I apologize because Jasmine has been the lead on this, but I know that we've been in contact with the park director and I believe everything's been approved. Is there another step?
They brought it back to us.
Yeah, the board has to approve it first, and then you go to the park department for it. And
Thank you.
get it approved.
And so that's just our next step
Yeah,
then.
that's the next.
Okay. Thanks.
also concerned, this is Labor Day weekend. Right? Do I have my dates correct?
It is, yeah.
Is this going to do anything with any special events or any additional? I know Corporal said he's okay with barricades, but you know, with the Labor Day, I don't know.
Since with the park department, it doesn't interfere, but it looks like we may have comment.
Terry Greetham, Michigan City Special Events. I spoke with the park department. We are having Oktoberfest that same weekend in the park, but it will not conflict in any way. Oktoberfest doesn't open until noon, so all of the activities should be done and over, and hopefully they'll all come over to Oktoberfest after the run and have a beer.
Okay, any other questions?
None here.
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you for coming. Next item on the agenda is a formal approval. Christine Vanderborg, Code Enforcement Officers, requesting to solicit demolition bids for the following properties: 925 West 7th Street, owner Housing Opportunities, 425 North Woodland Avenue, owner Consuelo Tolson, 207 Hendricks, owner Ahmed Really LLC.
Hi, good morning, board. Just seeking, requesting to bids for the three properties here, 925 West 7th, 425 North Woodland, and 207 Hendricks Street.
Okay, when will the bids be going on?
Well, there was an issue. Bids actually went out last week as far as submitting them, and they're already been posted in the newspaper. There was miscommunication with the clerk's office and our department as far as putting it in the Board of Works agenda. But
So we're playing catch up here.
Correct. It's already been published in the newspaper, so there's no harm with that. When is pre-bid and when is the bids going to be open?
pre-bidding, actually we'll be doing a pre-bid walkthrough this week with the properties. And then the actual formal bidding to opening the bids, we brought from you on June 1st, of whatever the next meeting is in 2 weeks from now, June 5th, I'm sorry.
Is there any public comment?
Good morning, Paul Przybylski, 1716 Washington Street. I would like to know on the who is the owner of 925 West 7th Street? It says here owner, housing opportunities. Well, I don't know what kind of opportunities they're making if we're going to demolish a house for them. I'd like to know who the principal is or if they're an LLC. I mean, that to me, that even the name on that is problematic.
Housing Opportunities is I don't believe it's a non-for-profit, but is a community-based corporation that does help people with lower income to get into housing. And in this particular case, the LaPorte County tax assessors gave them this property, but this property was too far gone for them to do anything with it, to actually put somebody into it, to put sweat equity into it. So that's why they come to ask us to tear it down, and the funds will be covered by the CDBG program.
Certainly, if you wish.
I just feel an obligation to make a comment as the director at Stepping Stone. Housing Opportunities is a nonprofit.
Okay.
I wanted to confirm that we work very closely with them. They help us with vouchers and housing, getting our people into housing on a fairly regular basis. We really appreciate our partnership, and so I felt the obligation to comment on that.
Thank you.
Well, my position on this is that the CDBG grant program should be going to help the neighborhoods, and that the not-for-profit who accepted the house and now we're bailing them out, and the city council doesn't approve this stuff, but I think that the CDB grant director, which is controlled by the administration, we need to look at these homes that people are accepting and work more closely with the county on what the heck they're giving us. So now we're gonna have another vacant lot. Okay, how many years has this thing been in the making, Christine? This house?
This house went through a demolition process before COVID, and when COVID hit, the process had stopped and the demolition order expired within 2 years after that. I did a follow-up on this and I missed the deadline by a month because I realized that this was in a process of being demolished at that time. So I had to start the process over. So it's been a couple of years, but we have a dilapidated house in the middle of a block that people are complaining about. It's a house that Housing Opportunities can't fix and can't put someone in there to fix because it's too far gone.
I understand all that, What I'm after is how long has this thing been sitting out there? How long has it been sitting out there when it was accepted from the county from tax sales? That's what I want to know. Has it been 7 years, 10 years?
The
Thank
matter
you.
before us is approval of going out for bids, okay? And I'd like to just limit the discussion to that.
It's
Okay.
information for the public, that's all, Madam Chair. It's just information.
We're considering whether or not to go out for bids on this property, these properties.
Running from 617 Union Street. Myself and Pastor Briggs was on 7th Street. We know have a lot of friends and family out there. This has been a long time coming. Get that house tore down. People should not have to live next to that house. It is horrible. Mr. Perry seen that house. I think the first 2 weeks you came in the office, we stood there and we looked at it. We couldn't even believe it. We didn't even know it was a house behind the trees. It was so bad. So this is a long time coming. I understand Mr. Prespolinski's concern, but this is a long time coming, and let's get it done. Thank you.
Okay, any board comments?
Just a few, Madam President. One, Mr. Prespolinski's comment about Councilman Prespolinski's comment about the administration controlling the CBD Community Development Block Grant coordinator is incorrect. I do not control her. I appoint a person in that position. She adheres to the rules of the CDBG program. Secondly, housing opportunities, I believe you were aware of that because I first became aware of it several years ago when you complained about a 6-flat diagonally away from kitty corner away from your house. They own a lot of properties in Michigan City, and as time permits, I'm assessing those properties to see which ones are occupied. That we need housing for people. If there's empty houses sitting there that can be with minor effort made livable, housing opportunities needs to take care of that. So this is an issue that's been hanging around for a while. Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion on the
I'll make
issue?
a motion to solicit bids for demolition of 3 properties.
Support.
Now I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a payroll docket for May 5th, 2023, city payroll of $681,840.87. Claims docket, May 15, 2023, municipal claims of $1,533,300.05. Health and Life Insurance Fund, $112,938.07. CDBG, that's Community Development Block Grant, $95,631.23. Total claims, $1,741,869.35. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve as read.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. We have nothing on our unfinished business agenda for today, so we'll skip down to public comment. And as I always say, any matter requiring board action will not be discussed under the public comment section of the board meetings. All matters that require board action must be placed on the agenda using the forms and procedures available at the clerk's office. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes. All comments must be addressed to the board president, not individual board members. All comments must be germane to and within the mandate and authority of this board.
Rodney McCormick, 617 Union Street. A while back, you guys approved street lighting in the alleyway between Emily and Miller Street. That has not taken place yet. We have a lot of elderly people that lives on that block. It is extremely dark, and there's a lot of dumping that's illegal dumping that we continue to pick up and clean up with the help of the sanitation department and sometimes the street department. But it continues to go on. It's too dark back there. There's too much nonsense going on back there. We also have on the back side of Emily Street several garages that are a safety issue for the community. We have a lot of kids in our community. Anything can happen. I hope that we can get somebody out there to go look at those garages. But I don't understand why the street lights haven't been put up. You guys agreed on doing that and it hasn't happened. Next, I don't know if this is the right authority or not. It's about Burnham Brewery. I see for over a month now, it's been almost 5 weeks now, no work has been going on. One of the things that concerned me the most was I was kind of quiet on the situation, but I do know they pulled demo permits. Now, they took the demo permits and started using those to do rehabbing of the building, which is illegal. We are here holding our landlords accountable for their actions or their misconduct. And here we are, we have a business because we got so much money invested in it, we just let them cut corners. Since this time, it has been shut down. I don't know what's going on, but it's an eyesore. The wooded area where the driveway, where they was gonna put the parking lot, there was no permit pull for that as well. These are things that are going on and on and on. And then there's a lot adjacent to Burnham Brewery across the alleyway, which for some reason, somehow, Zorn Brewery owns now. I wonder who tipped them off to that, to let them know to buy that property. And then the main goes directly underneath, from that building directly underneath Zorn Brewery's property. So there's a lot of headaches going on over there. I was told by one of the contractors that once they got inside the building, it's a lot more work that needs to be done and a whole lot more money. And I wonder where that's going to come from. We've been diligent. As a citizen that lives there, I've been there for over 20 years. I don't like it. My neighbors don't like it. We just want to be informed on what's going on. And for, like I said, you're tearing down the wooded area. It's already gone now. And the parking lot is going to be right next to the house, 2 feet from a house. And they have to listen to doors slamming, things going on. I think this is another poor idea. No thought process went into this. And who gets hurt? The neighbors. And unfortunately, I live directly right there, 600 feet away from it. So it kind of hurts. So, and I just want to close with this. The city workers of Michigan City, you guys need to unionize. The time is now. I know the street department has a union, but they gave up their right to strike, to cut a collective bargaining agreement, and it's not working out for them.
Mr. McCory, this is not,
this
is not the forum for this kind of discussion.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
City workers, please unionize. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a question about that street light to Brad. Did you?
Alleyway, I'm sorry, it's alleyway.
Yeah.
It was Union and it was 2 of them supposed to run up.
Brad may not be aware of this. This has been hanging around for a long time.
Do you recall this matter?
Yes, Brad Minnick, House and Associates, 526 Franklin Street. I recall it from a few months ago. I don't have an update on it. I was not anticipating the question. So,
of course.
I'll get together with the clerk's office and find out when it was and follow up with NIPSCO.
Okay.
And have an update at the next meeting.
That's fine. Fine. We'll put that on the pending items list for the next time. All right. Thank you.
Good morning, Paul Przybylski, 1716 Washington Street. I wanted to bring to your attention and I didn't speak under the street closing request by NICTA because I didn't want to be called out of order. But do you guys know that the freight service is pulling freight through Michigan City and blocking intersections and all of the intersections to the north end for over 15 minutes? And I was trying to get across town, I think it was Thursday night, And I approached the crew and asked them if they're gonna, you know, what's the holdup? And they told me that it was, cause I've been sitting there timing them and it was over 15 minutes. And they said that, Amtrak was holding them up at that crossbuck. And, so I'm thinking to myself, if they're all the way up by Tennessee and Kentucky Street, now that means that they're blocking, I didn't know if they're blocking Michigan Avenue, Michigan Boulevard. But I do know this, is that somebody needs to ask them what they're doing or if they have plans on opening at least one of the main thoroughfares going north to south so that emergency vehicles can get through. And also that they have a dispatcher. The passenger service has a dispatcher and I believe also freight. And they should be able to coordinate their moves with Amtrak and tell that crew to open up one of them crossings. But my other objection is this, that none of those intersections have gates or even warning lights are non-operational. So one of the crew members, I asked them, are you guys putting down flares? No, we don't have to because we got crossbucks up. Well, you know, people aren't paying attention to those crossbucks because they don't suspect any traffic on those tracks at all. So if you get up to some tanker cars, which they had, that are black, you're apt to run into them. I'm just saying, because I operated a locomotive at where I worked for years, and that we have certain regulations that you have to follow. And even where I work, that they have crossbucks up, but they still throw flares. I mean, when somebody gets in trouble and gets in an accident, then everybody will say, what should we be doing? So I'm bringing this to your attention. Somebody needs to call NICTA and the freight service and ask them what they're going to do about making sure that we have, you know, like the fire truck on Ohio Street, that's supposed to service my neighborhood. Now, when you have an emergency and somebody's waiting on a first responder and something happens, a minute, 45 seconds can mean a lot. But on this situation with 925 West 7th, I'll apologize to the chair about my comments. Is this. I know what housing opportunities is and what they do because I investigated it on my own for what was going on across the street from my house. They are out of Valparaiso. Yes, they are a not-for-profit, but they run subsidized housing in the city of Michigan City. They are making a profit, and I don't believe we should be subsidizing them. That's why I brought the concern up. And I think it's wrong, and I also think it's wrong for them not to be tearing that house down. That grant money could be used for other constructive things in the neighborhoods. Thank you.
Hello, board. My name is Michael Walker, 7556 West 200 North, Michigan City, Indiana. I'm here for my mother and regards to my mother. She lives at 913 Green Street. At this area, 913 Green, there's a lot of construction. She had construction behind her, which is the South Shore Tracks, and she has construction in front of her. I don't know if that's still South Shore Tracks or who it is, but it's right there in front of Moore's Garage. So Moore's Garage sits I guess we say southwest of her. She got Chicago Street runs along the side. My mom has been in a foster care business, daycare business for over 40 years. My mom's 75 years old. She takes care of a quadriplegic. At no point in time can you get an ambulance to her right now. This project's been going on 7 weeks. I talked to Morris Garage. Morris Garage says the construction was supposed to be done in 8 weeks. It's not ready. It's not even close. They got piles and mounds of rocks sitting in front of her. I watched a car try to go because I was there cutting grass, so I got this grass on me. And as I'm there cutting grass and trying to get our yard back right, I started getting frustrated. I saw, one, they killed a tree. They cut this big tree in front of her yard. They cut the root, so it's going to die. I thought, well, I'll come to the city and I asked them if I can get some direction. Well, I was upstairs for about 45 minutes. I didn't have any direction. I says, well, how can I complain about the South Shore Tracks or their workers or the process or the speed? I can't come and complain to the city, but as a homeowner or as a landlord, if I do something out of wrong, the city engineers and all those guys, they can come and red tag me and tell me I have to stop work. All I'm asking for is somebody to come out to my mom's house, bring an emergency vehicle, and get to her house. That's all I'm asking. That's it. Plain and simple. If you can get there without getting there and getting her out, her or her quadriplegic daughter out of the house, then I'll go away and won't say anything, but you can't. She got 2 entrances to her gate. One is in the back in the alley and one is in the front. The other entrance to the garage is blocked because they cut off half her concrete and it's like a 2-foot drop there. So she's kind of boxed in, so she can't get anywhere. They're doing good. They're building a sidewalk, but the work stopped. If it was just for a couple weeks and they done something extra, maybe I wouldn't care if they cut her gate so they can get somebody in to get her if she needs to be gotten. It's not. I got a video if you guys want to see it. I don't know if you guys, because you can't see it because you can't get to her. No one's seen it because you can't get to her because you can't drive there. You can't walk there because the road's all jacked up. There's only probably three houses on her block. It's a short block. What is that? Kentucky and Chicago. And then the back of her is 11th Street. I just want something done so in case something happens to my mom, emergency vehicles can get to her. Right now, it's not happening. I had a day off, so I was over cutting grass, and I just got frustrated. Thank you.
Thank you. Any board comments?
Yes, Madam President, I have a comment. Mr. Walker, your timing's real good, mine's not. I just assessed that yesterday. I went over to see that while I was visiting friends that I have on Kentucky Street. I've been aware of that for a while. I made a call to Nick D, and I'm really sorry that they're not doing anything. I'm going to go over to Chesterton today in person and find out what's going on. Nick D is working, to my knowledge, they're working for Amtrak because Amtrak is redoing that Chicago Street crossing, but that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. They've got to get that thing open.
They keep coming back. I know it's in order, but and also, I mean, all this part of, I just retired from the sheriff's office a couple months ago. So all this part of this is new to me. But as a taxpayer, if I come up to an office upstairs, I'm coming for direction. I'm not coming to raise no sand. I just want some help. I can't get no help upstairs. They said, come talk to Chris Yagelski, but Chris wasn't here. He wasn't here. So I came down here was where I heard the noise. If I understand that this is a federal process, but I'm just Indian one feather. I want help too. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do in a timely fashion and I'm complaining, then they got to speed it up. I understand that the feds has got their process, but we're still the state. We elect them also. So I still want some help because this can't go on another day where an ambulance can't get to my mom's house. Or I'm going to be here every day, every night, calling your house, is coming by your house. I don't care. Because my mom is right now living in an unsafe area. And she's 75 years old. I tried to get her to let me just come to my house. You know how 75-year-olds are. They ain't going nowhere. So what am I to do?
Well, I'm glad you're here, sir. The buck stops here.
And I don't want
Sorry.
to stop. I want to speed up.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you,
Good-
Mr. Walker.
Good reaction. Okay, thanks.
Okay, is there any other board comment?
None here, madam.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Support?
Call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.